What up, yo? Here's my daily breakdown for June 25th. Yeah. Silver played out, but it just played out when I was sound asleep. Like it was played out at 3:30 a.m. That's when the entry came. Exactly like I was saying before. So like I said, like we needed it to pull back deep enough to have. So like I was saying, like it's gonna pull back. It's gonna give us the rejection candle, and then we're gonna be enter. So I was saying like this is gonna be the 4 hour rejection candle somewhere around here, right? And then the entry we're gonna be looking to get around here. We just needed to shift internally. So that's exactly what happened. Like the 4 hour candle, it pulled back. We got the 4 hour rejection candle right there. So right when this happened, then we'd be looking to get in after. So at this time here, around 3:30 a.m. I don't know if you guys can see it at the bottom here, where it's like 3:30 a.m. That's where we'd be looking. So we got that 4 hour rejection candle, and then yeah, it dropped in. The only thing is, I still wouldn't have taken this though because like look at all these wicks on here. Like look at this massive wick on here. So all of this is just like price is gonna keep on rejecting, right? Like you just basically put it like that, like I wouldn't have taken that because like if it rejected here, rejected, what are the chances that it wouldn't reject? Even here, it kind of like came wicked down and then pulled all the way back, right? So you want price to kind of like break through all of this, but it is a counter trend. So it played out perfectly. Like I said, like we were planning, like it was at a higher high. The previous weekly bias closes this giant bearish candle. So then we'd want to take it down to the next weekly structure point, which is literally right here. This is the first structure point, right? So price came, tapped into that, and then dropped. So yeah, so basically I'll just show you exactly what I was talking about. So came, it gave us that 4 hour rejection confirmation, right? So that's why it was in this section here. So we're waiting for that. It's just that I was not awake at that time. The 30 minute at that time was in trend because you can see the 30 minutes been bearish ever since this break here. This was the shift in structure right here. So ever since this whole entire range right here is all bearish, right? But we can't take this because how it's pulling back. You have a bullish or a bearish engulfing candle on here. So this makes this whole entire pullback invalid, right? Because then you would have to like, where would you put your stops? Like if you entered on that candle, you'd have to put your stops above this because this is where price shifted. And then you have take profit that would have been literally like right here or like, yeah, it would have been like a 2R if you had taken that. That's just too high risk. This is not even a proper stop loss because you have to give it some breathing room. So like, let's go like here and then yeah, something like that. You could have done that, but for that you get exactly a 2R, but that's not what I'm interested in. So then we would go down to the 15 minute. All this is improper, so you wouldn't be interested in that. You would wait for it to create some type of structure. Did it do it here? We have one touch, two touch. Right there. So then you could have entered off of this engulfing right here. However, this wouldn't have been within the like the kill zone because we need it to be after like after a 4 hour candle closes bearish, then it opens up the period for that time. So that's why we didn't enter on there because if you've done that as well too, you would have entered here. Stops would have been above because this is where price shifted structure. And then you would have been targeting here for a 1 to 6R. Not really ideal. So that's where we're like, okay, we need it to be proper, right? You would look for another entry here, but this is even worse. Like you go here, stops, you have to put it above where price shifted. So this is where price shifted again. And this would have been a 0.75 risk to reward ratio. So not interested in that. So the only time we could have done it was on the 5 minute, right? So as you can see, the 4 hour candle closed bearish, this 4 hour candle within this period here. Basically what is it? The seven, no, let me see what candle closed bearish here, this candle here, right? So basically the 11 to 3 candle. So then we have to enter around 3, right? So since everything is already bearish, we just have to look for an internal shift. So you can see the 5 minute was bearish this whole entire time from here, right? But you need price to internally shift in order for you to get an entry. So right here, you can see price shifted internally. We have a neckline right here. This is an accumulation level. And then price came, pulled back, gave an engulfing signal right here. So you put your engulfing right, you put your entry right there. Make sure to set your stops above the point where price shifted structure. So price first shifted structure right here. This is the last higher low or last lower high before price shifted. You just got to put it a little bit above the wick here just in case it pulls back super deep. So you do that, entry, and then you just target, like the right here. But then when it's that close, I just go for a 3R. So right there, and it would have played out exactly as we had planned on there. So that's cool. But like I said, just these wicks on here, I would have like, yeah, I would have been like, yeah, I'm not really interested in that to be honest. But it's good to see it played out. Hopefully someone took that. And these already all hit take profit without giving us a chance to enter. Oh no, yeah. So the reason why we didn't enter on these here, because as you can see, like this is a bunch of wicks in this zone, right? So when price did pull up to here, it instantly rejected. So that's why I would have been very cautious. Even here, you can see there is on the daily all these giant wicks on here. So price came, pulled into this zone, and then instantly rejected and bounced back out. So that's what happens on the daily. Like for the daily, you have to be very careful with those wicks. I didn't want to really risk it on that. This didn't even give us an entry in order to do that. So not interested in that. Let's go. So all of these basically now need a 4-hour shift to structure because we're currently bearish and we need it to be bullish in order for it to go. So we're just looking for it to like create some sort of structure here and then shift back to bullish. Same with USD SEK, currently bearish, we need to create some shift to structure. USD NOK, currently bullish, we need to go bearish. So as you can see, it did do the dip on here. So we just need price to come back, break this, and then when it comes back down, then it's shifted. Or it can just come and shift and break below here, then pull back, then it's shifted. Euro GBP, so check this out. Price gets into the daily. As you can see, there's a bunch of daily wicks right here. See this giant daily wick right here, and this daily wick right here. So then when price gets into that zone, it just rejects, right? So if you try to enter that, then you would have gotten smoked. So that's why it's very important to watch out for those daily zones that have those wicks. So basically now we're just looking for price to shift on the 4 hours. As you can see, it came. So now we just need it to break this load and break back this high, and we can look at taking it. Preferably, I'd want it to do it even lower because the nice thing is if it does it super like for example, like if it pulls all the way back and shifts, then at least we have a range so we can take a trade going up to here and get it out here before we get into this zone where all these daily wicks are getting rejected, right? So, but now actually it's kind of safe now to be honest, because look at this clean path on here. The only thing we really have to worry about is this zone right here. So once price gets into this daily zone where this giant daily wick is, then it's gets dangerous. But as of right now, it's super clean traffic to the left there. So that being said, if we get some sort of shift, something like that, and then we can get like an entry, and then we can at least we have proper enough range to ride it up here. We can target the weekly structure point. It could possibly go there, but we need to make sure that we have adequate enough range to have, we want to get out the trade before it even gets here. And then if you want, you can leave runners, but there's a very high probability that it's going to reject here like it did exactly on here. So we're not going to get trapped in that, right? And then CAD JPY, same thing on the daily. If you look, price, there was this wick right here, and also these wicks right here. So this wick right here. So when we put right there to kind of like let us know what's going to happen, price came, popped up, got into that zone, and just instantly shot back down. So now you're in these zones with all these wicks on here. Even here, you can see like price, these giant wicks on here, price came, popped into that, and just instantly shot back down. So I really figured that out because I was getting a bunch of losses and I was like, why is this happening all the time? So now, that's what we've come up with. That's what we figured out. So that's going to reduce a bunch of losses. I can show you. Let me just pause it really quick here, how I figured that out. Yeah, basically I was just analyzing all my losses, right? So I just filtered all the trades through the losses and I was like, why does this keep happening? So then I looked through it and then I saw it and I was like, oh, that's why. Basically all these ones here, like, where is it proper? It might be labeled incorrectly, but basically if I were to go to like, I don't know a good example, but let me see if this has one on here. The daily, nah, this daily, you can see the daily broke through on there. This was the same thing. USD ZAR, I just will not trade this pair anymore. I just have terrible luck with USD ZAR. But yes, here you can see price got into this wick here, came, and then when you try to take a sell, it just like, because price fails to break through this wick all the time, it'll always reject it. AUD CAD, this one was pretty clean. UK oil, you can see the daily just had all these zones. Like you can see, like when it gets into these wick zones, it just kept on rejecting. So you just use that as an area of interest. And then price try to go in. You see price keeps rejecting, 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 rejecting. So I knew when price came into this area again, there's a very high chance because look, you got one rejection, two rejection, three rejection. So if you try to sell into that, price is going to reject. So yeah, that's when you journal, that's what happens because then you can see what's causing all these things. So yeah, basically price shot into that zone and then rejected. So now we have this zone right here, wick, and then this giant wick on here. So we basically like we can even just move it closer like that. You don't want to trade into that. So want to make sure that we have a good solid range. So now price is bearish. So we need price to then like kind of pop up here, switch back, and then we can look at taking the trade up to at least like we want to be able to get like at least like a 2 point something R. You know, if it's like a 2.7 R before we get here, we can just hold it to 3, but we need at least like a 2 R because we need to make sure that we get out of at least here, you know? Because there's a very low chance it's actually going to go to the full TP on there. So that's my breakdown. Basically, all these pairs still need a shift on the 4 hour, 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 still need a shift on the 4 hour. These are not for this week. Needs daily pullback. So let's see what happened with the daily on here now. Sweet, we have the daily pullback. This is nice, clean traffic to the left. Look how much cleaner this is to the left here, right? So we're good there. The 4 hour is bullish. Sweet. Okay. So there was actually at 7 a.m. there was a confirmation candle on there right there. So you would go right there. You'd be looking for entries anytime within this period on here. But the 30-minute is was well not is or not was is still bearish because this is the lower high, lower high, lower low, right? So we're not worried about that until the 4 hour shifts back again. So let's see if this candle just opened up. So like I can actually look for it here as well too, because this previous 4 hour candle closed bullish as well too. So then this next period is all opened up here as well too. So within this time here, actually, if we can get the 4 hour to then shift structure, you know, like if the, or not the 4 hour, the 30-minute, like if the 30-minute breaks above, pulls back, then we're going to head down to the 15-minute. All right, so we need a 30-minute to break above that lower high, pull back. We're going to pop into the 15-minute because we're not going to take entries on the 30-minute because again, I figured out that because I'm journaling everything and everything is being logged, that 30-minute entries are very dangerous. Like pretty much any 30-minute entries, they're not showing here right now, but there are more. But yeah, any 30-minute entries will result in a loss. So if you want to avoid those just to like not take unnecessary trades, right? So if the 30-minute breaks above here, then we'll look for a 15-minute pullback. And the 15-minute pulls back. This is what we're looking for the 15-minute to do. 15-minute goes, it can pull back, and then we're looking for it to go any, if it comes in this zone right here, this is a nice zone because you have so many wicks here. This can be a nice accumulation level, basically a support. So price is going to come back, break, do an engulfing. We need nice clean structure. None of this, none of this break and then and then pulls back. If that happens again, we're not interested because then it's like kind of improper, right? So then we go down to the 5 minute and then the exact same thing we'd look for. We'd look for it to do like internal structure and then retest and then we can the exact same thing that we did on what pair was it? On nope. Oh, silver. Yeah. I don't know where did it go. I don't know where it went. Uh, I don't know where I put it. But yeah, the exact same thing that happened on silver, that's what we're going to be looking for. So it's either going to have a nice clean pullback, like this, or it's going to have one of these, messy and then it's improper. So then we'll wait for it to come back and retest internal structure, create another neckline exactly just like this accumulation level, retest it and give us an engulfing. And then, like I said, on here, sorry about that. The daily is nice and clean, as you can see. Clean traffic to the left, no wicks or anything like that. None of this here. So it's really nice and clean, and it is bullish. So we can look to then take that up to here. So this is looking pretty solid. We just need a 4 hours in trend. A daily had a pullback, so we actually just need this. We maybe. We've got the 4 hour retest, so we need to move this actually to this section right here because the 4 hour is giving us the signal on there. We just need the 30 minute to be in trend. So let's delete all this. I already know what I'm looking for. Just a night. Once the 30 minute breaks, goes in trend, then we'll head down to the 15 minute, wait for the 15 minute. If not, we can also check the 5 minute as well too, but we can't do any of that until 30 minute. That's why everything is in order this way. You need to wait for this to be in trend, then this to be in trend, then this to be in trend. And if you want to get real spicy with it, then you can go to the 1 minute, but that's like so high risk, but you can get like 1 to 16s on that if you're willing to risk it. Like if you're just like, yeah, I don't really care, then you can just put like a small lot on there and then just get like a 1 to like 32 when it hits the TP up there. Oh, why is this not showing? Or maybe it's just that high up that I couldn't even see it. Yep. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's where we're going to be targeting and nice clean traffic to that. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Let me see how this G is doing. Cool. We've had a nice pullback. See this wick zone on here. Look, like you had all these wicks right here, right? Starting from this wick to that wick. Price gets into it, rejects, right? So it's kind of dangerous, but now it's clean here. So the only thing we have to worry about is up here. So the deeper this pulls back, the nicer it is because we want to try to get a trade to get out before we get here. So as you can see, we've had that pullback. We're not at an area of interest, I don't think. This is the last right here. Yeah, this is the higher low. So nice. Okay, we actually did perfect. So price came back and we did get into the zone here. So it is valid. We've tapped into the area of interest, so it's good. Now let's go. This is where we're looking for trade within this 4 hour period on here, right? Just like that. So then let's see what's going on with the 30 minutes. The 30 minute is actually still bullish because this is not a break-in structure. So all of this here, this is the 30 minute high or low. Check in perfect. It's clean. This is the 30 minute higher high. Higher high. So all of this is in trend. It's just stuck in some internal like structure, which is okay. So we're good. So then let's go to the 15. The 15 bullish, but then we broke structure right here. So then this is the lower high. Broke back structure right here. Pulled back, still bullish. And 15 minute. Wait, what? Is Yeah, okay, shift the structure there. Okay, perfect. So we're good. 15 minute higher low. This is now the 15 minute higher high. So then let's see, we have One wick, two wick, three wick, nothing really here to do this, right? But it is still in trend. I don't see any way we can retest. Actually, this is a neckline right here. This is good. So this candle here, we don't want this candle to engulf. As long as this candle does not engulf this previous 50-minute, it's safe because once it engulfs it, then it's just game over. Well, at least for this here, because it breaks by too much. Like you don't want that. I want it to only break by like a minimum of 1.9 pips. Actually, I can show you on here. If I do this, these are my rules for the retest. For it to be a proper retest, we want a proper high quality retest. So these are the rules right here for the proper high quality retest. So you don't want a bullish candle, like close in contrary before it pulls back, which you won't have to worry about because it's pulling back. It's not choppy, and the engulfing candle must not break through the neckline or disrespect or violate the neckline more than 1.9 pip, right? And once it's past the neckline, you don't want like an engulfing, like you don't want it to be like come past there and then an engulfing candle does that. You don't want that, right? But as long as this does not engulf, if the next candle after this candle closes as a bullish candle like that, like this 15-minute bullish candle, then it's game on. We're gonna enter actually nah, because we have this, and this is gonna be the last higher low before price shifts on the 15-minute right here. So we won't have enough range to take it before we have to get out here. So it's a very high risk, dangerous trade. I'm not interested in that because look, like you'd only have 0.73, right? So not really interested in that. Let's see what's going on the 5 minute. Um, Maybe if the 5 minute pulls back, let's see, right here, we get some sort of engulfing right there. This whole entire thing here is the 5 minute structure, right? This would be the last, yes, because price broke. Wait, let's see. Okay, so price is bullish here. This whole entire thing is bullish. Where was it initially bearish? So you can see price was bearish here and then it broke and made a higher high, pull back, broke right here. Then we broke this level right here as well too. So then this would be the last level right here. And you want to put it below the wick, 20, and then you want to do +5. So it's like I would be very interested in it if it gives us at least like a 2R, something like that. So if it pulls back and then we get an engulfing that lines up like here actually on the 5 minute, because the 15-minute is in trend, right? So if we get it, it pulls back and then we get an engulfing that lines up right there. That engulfing lines up right there and it just barely comes to this neckline in here. That would still work right there because for the engulfing, same thing, like it has to be less than 1.9 pips. So let's say this is, now let's say this is exactly the neckline right here. If it comes back and it happens anytime like that, we can look at taking that. So like, let me measure that again. Comes to there, we're good. So let me just put a quick line there so I can know. Right? So if it comes to there, we get an engulfing right there. We're in this, right? So if anyone sees this, this is the trade we're looking at. It's going to be an Asia session. This is what I'm going to be entering in. As long as, also, yeah, I like, as long as there's not like, as long as it doesn't get here and then all of a sudden it prints a bullish candle, then an engulfing candle that breaks through by that, then I'm not interested in it again. But as long as it keeps pulling back cleanly like this, retests this neckline and gives us an engulfing around here, then I would be interested in that. Anything that is at least a like 2R, right? So anything that's within this period here, we are good. Yeah, right there. Anything like that, I'm interested in because we're within the area of interest, right? My fib levels. We are within the kill zone, so this is the proper timing because the last 4 hour candle did close as a bullish candle, so this is signaling the potential 4 hour high or low. And 30-minute is in trend because this whole entire thing is a 30-minute trend right here. 15-minute is in trend as well too. This is 15 minutes bullish. We've just retested 5-minute right there. And yeah, we're just looking for an engulfing to happen somewhere around here, and then we'll be interested in it. If it happens higher, I'm not going to be interested in it because we just won't have enough range, right? So this is basically what I'm looking for. And then once it gets there, it's like pretty high chance it's going to reject from there, but I only need like a 2R to pass another challenge. If you want, you can hold it to a 3R if you want to be a gunslinger. Hold it to there, but like I said, I only need a 2R to pass this challenge on here. So this is what I'm going to be looking to take as long as it meets all of these rules on here. We have proper stop loss placement because we went the lower high and then we just add an extra 5 pips on there. Yeah, perfect. And then yeah, this is exactly what we're looking for. So we actually can put this right here. This has already had everything, so this is the best trade. This one's not ready yet, so this is why this will be on top here. So yeah, if we get that nice engulf in there on the 5-minute, what's the 1 minute look like? Yeah, see how the 1 minute's all choppy and messy like that? Not interested in that. And then it didn't break structure yet. But yeah, all of this is all, this bullish candle here makes it invalid because then it doesn't match the rules because it's all choppy and then it has an engulfing contrary to the direction that we needed to pull back to. So 1 minute's not valid, but the 5-minute is looking pretty good. So let's collapse all that down. This is the trade we're looking at. GBP, JPY would be the trade we'll be looking to take in Asia session. And this makes sense because this is what's it called again? This is a yen pair, so yen operates in Asia session. If I go, let's go trade in here. So you can see the Asia session started. There is no volume though, so I don't see this happening here. Like it probably like it would make sense if it happened around like 7, because then you would have at least medium volume to take it because you'd have the Sydney and Tokyo session crossover. But, it is what it is. If we get that signal right there, then I'll be interested in it. If it comes back and then starts to, you know, do its thing like that, right? If it starts to internally do this and then creates an accumulation right there, then we can retest that. And then same thing, take it up there. But again, because this is the last point that price had before it shifted to bullish, we always have to put our stop loss below here. You have to go below the wick, and then you have to go plus 5 pips, which is right there. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to upload this now. So if anyone sees it, and it does do that, it could just go right through here and not give us an entry. So don't hold your breath on it. But if it does give us an engulfing, that's what we're looking for. So yeah, we're within the period. We have a good 3 hours to look for this entry, right? If it does that. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for.